After receiving the help of his superiors, the tunnel where Guzman escaped has been dug, and the inner should have passed the specific time to Guzman. All Guzman has to do now is wait, and the time is coming soon. 10 meters below the cell number 20 at 11 p.m. on July 10th, the tunnel construction team has arrived at the target location. Above is a thick layer of concrete and steel bars. They spent 3 days drilling up cautiously, and finally the drill bit broke through the last layer of obstacles. Drilled a 5-centimeter wide hole, fresh air poured into the tunnel. They successfully opened the channel. Now they have to expand the small hole to 50 centimeters to ensure that one person can pass through. Until the morning of July 11th, the hole finally reached the standard. The construction team inserted a ladder to fix it and quietly evacuated. At 8:52 p.m. on July 11th, Guzman is lying on a cement bed, and the overhead camera is truthfully recording all this. He stands up and walks to the shower area according to the plan. After entering the partition, the camera loses his figure. At the same time, this time point has been carefully calculated. From 2050 to 2120 every day is the guard shift time. At this time, personnel are easily distracted, and the monitoring will not be closely watched. These 30 minutes are the golden window paint for jailbreak. And Guzman's entire jailbreak process only takes 24 minutes. On the ground of the shower room, a neatly cut 50-centimeter hole is in sight. A ladder extends down into the darkness. He leans over to enter the hole, steps on the ladder, and climbs 10 meters vertically. A beam of LED lights up in the darkness, and the tunnel is in front of him. After his feet land, he was in a 1.7-meter high passage, with LED lights extending into the distance. At the same time, a motorcycle was parked on the track. The man on the side urged him to get on the bus as soon as possible. Guzman quickly climbed onto the motorcycle, and the man then got on the bus to control the direction. The vehicle moved smoothly along the track, and the speed gradually increased to 20 kilometers per hour. After 7 minutes, they completed the 1.5-kilometer-long tunnel. A vertical shaft appeared in front, and another ladder went up. At 8:59, the motorcycle stopped. Guzman got out of the car and climbed up. After reaching the top, he drilled out of the tunnel. At the same time, a white van was already on standby. Guzman got on the bus at 9:01. The van immediately left the scene and sped away towards the mountains. The prison 1.5 kilometers away was still calm, and no one noticed Guzman has long escaped. At 9:17, a guard passed through cell 20 and found that the bed was empty. He checked the shower area through the camera, but he couldn't see it because of the partition. Guzman had been inside for 25 minutes. This abnormal length of time made him immediately alert. The guard immediately used the walkie-talkie to inform the boss, then opened the cell door, walked quickly to the shower partition, and there was no one inside. His eyes sank sharply down and landed on the 50-centimeter hole on the ground. The ladder went straight to the dark depths. Someone escaped from prison. The alarm sounded in an instant. The guards quickly rushed to cell 20 to check the specific reason. At 9:25, the warden arrived at the scene and looked at the hole with a pale face. The guards entered the tunnel and walked along the 1.5-kilometer-long passage. LED lights, the perfect ventilation system, and the motorcycles on the track came into view one by one. They drilled out from the other end of the tunnel and arrived at the semi-finished house, which was already empty, leaving only a string of tire marks outside the house. At 9:40, the warden trembled and dialed the phone of the Mexican inspector general, telling him that Guzman had escaped from prison. The silence on the other end of the phone instantly solidified, followed by a series of events. The interrogation that happened took place. In just a few hours, the prison break began to ferment. At 10 o'clock that night, Mexico, all news stations reported the news. At 6 o'clock in the morning on July 12th, the Mexican president issued an urgent message to the country, announcing that a prison break had taken place in Plateau Federal Prison. A large-scale manhunt had been launched, and Guzman would be captured again. The search used 10,000 soldiers and police, as well as the United States and the end of the helicopter. Drones circled in the air to investigate suspicious situations. Highway jurisdiction, $3.8 million bounty orders all over the place. While he was wanted nationwide, and at this time Guzman has fled back to the Madre Mountains hometown. In December 2015, Hollywood actor Sean through intermediaries to contact Guzman, hoping for Rolling Stone magazine interview. Too conceited Guzman, too much to tell his story. He agreed to the request, which officially became the trigger for his rearrest. At the same time, the Mexican intelligence has long been eyeing Sean's whereabouts. In January 2016, a key phone was intercepted, allowing the intelligence department to quickly lock the meeting place. Then the Mexican Marine Corps immediately packaged and set off. At 4 a.m. on January 8th, a residential area in Los Mochis was surrounded by Marines. Intelligence showed that Guzman was among them. The moment the door was broken in, the flash bomb exploded, and the gunshot suddenly sounded. Guzman's guards immediately returned fire. After a 15-minute exchange of fire, 5 guards were killed and 1 Marine was injured. In the chaos, Guzman escaped again through the tunnel. Guzman and his deputy climbed through the sewer and fled to the outskirts of the city by stealing a car 6 blocks away. But checkpoints had long been everywhere. At 6:15 in the morning, a stolen white car was stopped. 2 men in the car raised their hands obediently. The short-bearded man was Guzman. This is his 3rd arrest. But this time, the chance of escaping from prison has been slim. Guzman was pressed back to the Plateau prison that day. But this time, the cell did not have a shower partition and the monitoring blind spot floor. Replaced by steel reinforcement, guards inspect every hour. He knows in his heart that he has long been unable to fly. Lawyers have appealed many times to prevent extradition for a year, but the Mexican government has long been unable to bear it. In 2017, Guzman was sent to New York on a plane, formally extradited to the United States. The trial began in November 2018. The prosecution submitted 200 hours of testimony. 14 former group members appeared in court to testify. The evidence is conclusive. On February 12, 2019, all convicted of the sentence fell. The sentencing of life imprisonment completely announced the end of his freedom. Guzman was then transferred to the highest security prison in Florence, the United States, where it was impossible to escape. The man who escaped was ultimately defeated by his own arrogance and accepted the punishment of the law.